Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 11 of Project Ozone 3. Today I would like to get into Blood Magic. So Blood Magic is a mod that has two main parts. At least I would describe it as two main parts. There's the Blood Altar part, and then there's the Demonic Will part. And they are reasonably intertwined, so we will have to do both, but I like to start with the Blood Altar. So the Blood Altar, let's first take a look at it. Oh, just kidding, we have to start with the Demonic Will. Oh dear, and we have to go to Erebus. Alright, so we have some stuff we have to do before we can start Blood Magic. Let's start with the Demonic Will then. So Demonic Will is made by... We have to make these demon snares, I think they're called. Yeah, rudimentary snares. And then we throw them at mobs, and then we kill the mobs after they've been hit by them. So let's make, I don't know, 32, and head over to the hunting dimension. I'll show you how it works. Alright, so first things first, we have to find some happy victims. When you throw the snare at a mob, there's a chance that they'll receive a debuff. And when they are debuffed, you see those little white swirlies. And that means it's time to kill them. And when you kill them while they're debuffed, they drop Demonic Will. So let's use up our snares and get as much as we can. Later, we get an easier way to farm Demonic Will, but for now, this is what we get. So again, that one drops up Demonic Will. Now you see there is a will quality number. For now that doesn't matter. We just need the will in general. But later it will matter whether we get, good will or bad will. I wonder, does it work on pigs? Maybe not. Oh no, there it goes. Anyways, I'm going to go farm up a little bit more Demonic Will. Alright, now that we have some Demonic Will, we can use it to make a Hellfire Forge. Looks like we have to do some... Oh no, we can make this already. Alright, so let's make a Hellfire Forge. The Hellfire Forge is the first of many crafting mechanics in Blood Magic. So the way it works is that it takes up to four input items, and it crafts using will. So first thing we want to make is, I think these are Arcane Ashes or something like that. So yeah, Arcane Ashes. And if we look at the recipe for this, it says, these are your four input items, and that's the will. And it says you need a minimum quality of 0, and it drains 0 from it, which basically means any will crystal will do. So now that we have Arcane Ashes, this is a second crafting mechanic. And what you can do is, when you right-click the Arcane Ashes on the ground, then it says right-click this, then right-click this on it, then right-click this on it, and you get this. So what we want is a Bound Blade, I believe. So let's make that. Let's see. So you right-click the Arcane Ashes on the ground, it generates a little graphic. Then you right-click, oops, we have to make our binding reagent first, which is these. Oops, that's not that, hold on. So binding reagent takes minimum 400 will. So we're going to need a Tartaric gem for this. Alright, let's take a little detour then. So a Tartaric gem holds will, and depending on the quality, there's a limit to how much it can hold. So a petty Tartaric gem, let's see. We can make one of these. You start with the petty tier, and then you work your way up, lesser, common, greater, etc. So let's make we'll need at least 2. So I will make 2 of these. Now that we have our petty Tartaric gems, the next step is to bind that gem with a sword and make a bound sword. So I got ahead of myself when talking about that other sword, the bound sword. Sorry, we start with the sentient sword. So the sentient sword, it has the effect of the snares built into it. So when you hit something with this, when you kill something with the sentient sword, you automatically get the Demonic Will. And a nice thing about these Tartaric gems is that they can store this will. So if we throw this on the ground, and when we pick it up again, it gets stored into the Tartaric gem. So Back to the hunting dimension, we have to fill up at least 2 of these gems by killing mobs with a sentient sword. A little trick you can do too, the sentient sword doesn't actually hit all that hard. If we go and hit this creeper or something, like it takes a lot of hits to kill something, but if you put the sentient sword in your main, and it has durability, but if you put your sentient sword in your main hand and your other weapon in your offhand, you can use right click to use your laser gun, and its kills still count towards getting will. So you see we have more will with each kill. If you do it the other way around, for some reason it doesn't work. So you need to make sure that the sentient sword is in your main hand. Wait, did it work? 1936, let's see. Yeah, so you need to make sure your sentient sword is in your main hand and your laser gun is in your offhand. And then you can just go, blasting away. And fill up the gem pretty quickly. So I'll see you when we have our gems filled up again. So a little bit of mob killing later, and all of our petty Tartaric gems are filled. Now the reason you need at least 2 of them is that because in order to upgrade the petty gem into the next tier gem, you need 1 gem to provide the power and 1 gem to be upgraded. So that is apparently not the right recipe. Let's see, what is it? Lesser Tartaric gem. Diamond, block of redstone. Lapis, not block of gold. Hold on. There we go. So yeah, this gem will be upgraded to the next tier and will drain the power out of this one, like so. And then we can upgrade, let's see. We can transfer power from 1 gem to another, I think by shift right-clicking. Just right-clicking the gem you wish to empty. So now that we've crafted 1, we can empty the other 2 into it, and then we can upgrade the other 2 to common tier as well. And we can repeat this process to upgrade from, or to lesser tier. We can repeat this process then to upgrade from the lesser tier to the common tier. But to upgrade to common, we need imbued slates. So let's actually stop here. We now have lesser Tartaric gems. I'm going to put 2 of them away and we'll go fill the 3rd one. But before we do that, let's consider our options. So we can make sentient armor now. Sentient armor is just slightly better than diamond tier armor, but it has a bunch of buffs and stuff that can go on it. And the next tier up is living armor. But I'm not too concerned about armor, so we'll just leave this be. So I think the next thing we have to do then is double back to the blood altar, which requires us to go to Erebus. So let's take a look at what getting to Erebus requires. I recall seeing there was a quest for that. Was it in here? So we first have to make an offering altar. Next thing you have to do is place the offering altar and put on it 1 emerald, 1 diamond, and 1 obsidian. At least that's what the quest book says. And wait a while, and I think it will activate. Or it'll produce a staff of some sort. Oopsies, don't shift right click, that takes it off. Let's see, is there uses for this? No. Basically, what I want is to get the Staff of Gaia. But to make the Staff of Gaia, we need a Gaia gem. Oh, there we go. Wait, no? Is it doing something? Hang tight. Maybe it just takes a minute for it to work. There we go. And there is our Gaian gem. So we'll need to make 2 staves of Gaia, so we have to make 2 of these Gaian gems. Next, we have to build the actual Erebus portal. My understanding is it looks just like another portal. The frame can be made of any block, literally any block. And the inside has to be filled with leaves of some sort. So here's hoping this works. And then you place your Gaian keystone somewhere along the edge of it and place your Staff of Gaia in it. And that opens the portal. Now make sure you bring a second Staff of Gaia when you go through, because I'll show you on the other side. If it'll let me through. There we go. Alright, on the other side, it generates a portal and a keystone for you, but it doesn't put a staff in it. So if you don't bring a second staff with you, you're going to need some other way to go home. Which we have other ways to go home, but it is nice to light the portal from both sides. I'd also set a waypoint here. And now we are in the Erebus. So we came here because we needed something. We needed the thing to make the blood altar. Exoskeleton plates. So we have to find the mob in here that drops exoskeleton plates and kill them. And I believe we find those in the process of doing the... this is the second boss, isn't it? Maybe the bosses aren't in order. There's two main bosses in the Erebus. There's the Tarantula Broodmother, which is, you know, a giant spider. It spawns in a big tree. And there's the Antillean Overlord. This boss is... I think he's the one that drops the skeletons or his mobs. So let's go find him. He spawns in a pyramid. As for the way the Erebus dimension works, it's very wide open and cavernous, kind of like the Nether. And it helps tremendously to have flying in here. So I think, again, the natural flight methods, like creative flight methods, are disabled. So that really only leaves the jetpack as your best flight methods. And yeah, there's various types of hostile mobs of various annoying list levels. But like, here's some mosquitoes, which naturally you have to shoot with guns because there's no kill like overkill. And our goal is to find the tarantula broodmother nest thing, the pyramid. So, nope, those are fly wings. I'm going to look around a bit and see if we can find that pyramid. And there in the distance, you can see the pyramid. It sticks out quite clearly, and I think it always spawns in this desert-type biome. Looks like we have some lava flowing over the edge. Our tick rate right now is extremely low because of terrain generation. But I think once that decides to catch up, this lava is going to flow down here, which might be a little annoying, but thankfully we do have our lava charm, which grants us a level of resistance to lava. So this maze has these, I can't even read that thing, but has these magma crawler spawners in them, and we'll want to kill the magma crawlers because they drop... Oh, they drop magma crawler eyes. Alright, so not quite the right item, but we do need these eyes. And if you look at the top there, there's that bar that says a boss of some sort. We'll have to kill 4 of those mini bosses before we can do the real boss. But this is what we're looking for. Exoskeleton plates come from these spawners. I'll tell you what the mob is, but I can't read the tooltip. I think they're called like Antillians or something like that. Low spawn. If I break this spawner, I do get a broken spawner, which means that we can use this to create a powered spawner later if we don't get enough exoskeletons while clearing the maze. So I'm going to go around the maze and try to find the 4 bosses. You can kind of, so let me grab some blocks. You can kind of cheat by breaking the maze walls, but when you break the wall, it becomes a lava block. So it's not this like gneiss. When you break it, it becomes a lava block. So it's not exactly optimal to try to bust through the walls. Your better bet is just to do the maze and try to find where the bosses are. And as far as I know, they tend to spawn in the corners. Anyways, I'll be back when I have found something. Alright, right around this corner should be the first of the guardians. And you just kill them. They're not terribly difficult. When they die, they drop one of these scarabs, and your goal is to get all 4 different ones. Now that can be a bit of a pain because you have to go to all 4 corners of the maze. So I'm not sure if I think it's just this pack, but I believe there were recipes added for these. Oh, apparently not. Never mind, I take that back. Maybe that's only a normal mode. Never mind, so we do have to go get all the scarabs. I think in normal mode there are recipes added to make these Like you could transform if you get the wrong scarabs or whatever, but I guess that's not a thing. Anyways, so as I said, they spawn in the four corners, and if you have, well, obviously you have journey map. The maze is actually mapped out reasonably well in journey map, so it does, that helps you plan in your route. So let me go get the other three, and I'll meet you when we're ready to meet the boss. Another trick you can do with the maze is with the Staff of Traveling, you can teleport through it. So again, I'm pretty sure the boss is right around this corner, which he was. And then we just teleported right to him, killed him. And then, again, since the next one's in the next corner, I'm just gonna run along the wall and teleport there. So this is probably the easiest way to do the maze, now that I think of it. That's number 3. And these Antillions are the things that drop the plates we need. But I've already killed enough of them. I think we have most of a stack of plates. And there's number 4. He poisons you, apparently. Oh, don't tell me he dropped... Okay, don't tell me he dropped his scarab into the lava. Anyways, after you've collected all 4 of these, you want to head to the center, which is now probably covered entirely in lava. Well, good thing we're mostly immune to it. Head to the top here and place your 4 scarabs into the, respective holes. And then this should open up. And apparently that lava still hurts a lot. Anyways, once you get to this next level, it says it wants you to place a jade in each of these. And it tells you that by giving you 8 pieces of jade. And that takes you to the next level. There we go. Which wants you to put exoskeleton plates into these holes. Next level wants you to put, I think these are magma creams. Magma creams. Last level, these are these magma crawler eyes. I hope I have enough. We do. Perfect. And then the last one is a boss. Oh no, you need string. At least I think that's plain old string. We'll find out. There we go. Oh, and that just opens a portal to the center, which teleports you to the boss. And I'm told this boss is somewhat difficult, but I don't know. Being able to fly and having a laser gun makes everything kind of easy. So we shoot it to death, it dies, drops some loot. What we're after is it drops this thing, the soul crystal. We need that. Maybe we need that for Landia, but the main thing we need it for is far later in the game. We need it for the Philosopher's Stone and the Staff of or Wand of Animation. So the Philosopher's Stone takes 4 of these. And yeah, basically we'll be needing a fair number of these soul crystals. And I think we can pick up this egg. I don't know what it does, but I mean we have it now. So next up we can head back to the overworld, I think, because we're basically done here. We've got everything we've come for. Let's mark this as finished. If you play on a server, it might be a little annoying because it can be hard to tell at a glance, which of these things have been cleared already. And you might have to go quite a ways from spawn to find them. As you can see, I'm 1,500 blocks from spawn, and that's where I found mine. Anyways, I'm gonna work my way back. Actually, I can just take an overworld apple back, and we'll continue on with blood magic. Okay, so here we go. We can now make the blood altar. Now the blood altar is a block, but it isn't meant to be used alone. Behind me here, you'll see I set up a structure, I guess you could say, and this is the entire structure of a max tier blood altar. So the altar itself is a central block, and all of these other blocks are placeholders for blood magic blocks that we'll replace them with later. As you can see, it's pretty big. So when I start doing blood magic, I like to lay out the entire blood altar so that I can know, this space is going to get taken up later and not to build stuff there. So when we have this blood altar, well, now that we have this blood altar, we can begin to craft with it. Let's head over to the quest book and see what it wants us to make. I know what tab is it in here. Alright, so to start we have to fill the blood altar with blood. For the time being we can only use our blood, so we'll have to make a sacrificial dagger, and this is a way that we can turn our blood, or our health effectively, into life essence. So let's see about crafting this. Oh dear, it looks like we have to actually take another detour because we have to get into landcraft before we can do this. Alright, sounds like today is a day of detours. So, to get to Landcraft, we need the Landia portal. I believe it's this Landia portal marker. And to make this, we need to make hop graphite, which is made from a press. Where is it? Hop graphite dust is made in a squeezer from coke dust. And I think that's actually the only way to do it, or a manufacturing, but I think that's even more difficult. Yeah. So, for the second significant detour of the day, let's make ourselves an industrial squeezer from immersive engineering. So, same as before, to help make industrial, what's it called, or immersive engineering multi-blocks, the projector, I think it's just called a multi-block projector, is very useful for this. So we can, it'll lay it out for us, and let's just place it here, at least for now. So we have all the components, we just have to, whoopsies. We have to match the item up to its little ghost display. Oopsies. And if you put the wrong item there, it's kind enough to tell you. And the facing matters on that piston, I guess. So let's rotate it. And what block do I click to turn it on? There we go. Alright, there's a squeezer. And we just need some graphite. Or, what is hot graphite? I think it's coal coke? So we have to pulverize this and then squeeze it. Maybe? Can I not process that in a side mill? Anyways, I'll figure out what I have to do and see you in a second. Alright, so hop graphite dust is made from coke dust, which apparently can only be made in an immersive engineering crusher. So we have to make another immersive engineering multi-block first. That shouldn't be too bad. A crusher, it's just like the squeezer, except, slightly different. And there is the crusher. So next thing we have to do is power them. Should have built them such that they both take power the same side, huh? Well, let's run some powering or some cabling to them. Now that they're powered, the crusher has no input UI. You literally throw items in there. Be careful what you throw in. If you throw in something that doesn't have a crusher recipe, it just voids it. So it's like a very fancy trash can. And it's a lot quieter than I thought it was. This block used to be a lot louder. Anyways, it'll make coke dust, and I think for now we only need a little bit because we only need like 2 ingots worth. So then you squeeze the coke dust, and that becomes hot graphite dust, and then you smelt this and this becomes the ingot. And I wonder if we get 2 per dust. We do not. Alright, so I'm going to make a second ingot, and then we are finally back on the road to doing blood magic. Well, it looks like I was still a little ahead of myself. To make this, we need landium ingots, which come from landium ore in the nether, and apparently I only have one. And no ores. So we're going to have to make a quick trip to the nether. I'm going to have to make another one of these dawn spectuses really quick before we can go to Landia. And finally, we can make our Landia portal marker. So as it says, we want to place it a few blocks above the ground and kill a undead mob in the vicinity. Alright, well, let's start by placing it. Sure, we'll just put it here. And then we'll need to bring an undead mob through. So let me go capture one. Alright, yoinked a zombie from the hunting dimension. So hopefully that'll light the portal. There we go. And now I think all you have to do is walk into that little beam of light to be transported. And here we are in Landia. Apparently it spawned us inside a astral sorcery structure, which is fine. So it is unique to, well, just bear in mind that these astral sorcery structures generate in Landia. And I think I may have generated two inside of each other or something. That was weird. Anyways, which includes these floating crystals, which are nice for getting started with astral sorcery and stuff like aquamarine. So just keep that in mind. These, when you start doing astral sorcery, it's a good idea to head to Landia to get started. Anyways, aside from that, there's normal-ish terrain generation in this dimension. There's some unique mobs like this landlord, I guess that's what it's called. It's basically a blaze, a reskin blaze. And it drops, well, that one didn't drop anything. Of particular importance, a few mobs in here that we care about are the Big Brother, which I believe is a boss. And that's because he drops all the Landia ingots, like, or the ores. And we'll want to kill, we'll want to set up a mob farm, a woot mob farm, using that to generate the ores automatically later. I guess that's the only real interesting mob in here. But for now, because we only need a few ingots, I'm just going to go mine them. So if we just dig down a few blocks, we should be able to get to the dirt, or the stone. And if we just vein mine the stone away, it should reveal the Landia ores, in addition to regular ores. So let's get some lighting. So yeah, here we have it. These, like, here's one of them, Garfax. And I guess we can get the Abyssal Craft ores in here too. So let's grab some of that. Friscon. I think there's like 4 or 5 unique Landia ores. Let me see which one we need right now though. I already forgot what it was for. Alright, here it is. So we needed the ores to make the Solium Dagger, which is Friscon. So let's gather up a little bit of that. We already have 4 pieces. I'm going to gather maybe about a stack-ish of it, and then head back to the overworld. One thing to keep in mind is that some of these landcraft ores, like this Morganine ore here, has a higher mining level than cobalt. So until you have like a draconic pick, you're actually going to have to use, I think, Garfax. You can turn Garfax ore into like a Garfax pickaxe that can mine this Morganine ore. Another thing you can do, instead of making a separate pickaxe just for the higher mining level, you can use a sharpening kit to bring up the mining level of your current pickaxe. So this will bring it to the Garfax mining level, which is, I guess it's just 5. Right now it's cobalt, which I guess is 4. And this is mining level 5. There are mining levels that go much higher than this, although I don't think they're used. They go up to like 12 or something. So anyways, back to Landia and to get more ores. And next we have mining level 6. And we'll need one more trip to get it to mining level 7, at which point we can get all the ores. While looking for the ores, I found one of these astral sorcery structures that's like one of the ore temples. I've just been mining it for a little bit. I'm curious what ores it generates. It doesn't look like it's anything important. Most of the ores here are just common ores that we can get from other sources. And after about 100-ish blocks, it'll run out. But yeah, I think of the ores I've gotten so far, not one has been an exotic ore I couldn't get elsewhere. Oh, and there he goes. It's run out. So I'll probably end up throwing most of this out just so it doesn't clutter my inventory. And last but not least, we have mining level 7, which is the highest mining level needed for the Landia, for the Landia ingots. So with that, why don't we wrap up today's episode here? I'll do a little bit more mining in Landia between episodes, but next time we'll come back and we'll be ready to tackle blood magic in earnest. Now that we have a lot of the prerequisite, magic and tech out of the way, we can really dive into, turning our blood and hopefully later, some mob blood into blood essence or life essence, and we can start doing some magic with that. So, I hope you liked this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.